When Burger King got this Karen's order wrong, she wasn't happy about it, and things quickly got out of control. However, as we'll soon see, karma has a funny way of sneaking up on these awful people. We've got everything from unbelievable road rages that had shocking consequences to the woman who took a crash landing, so stay tuned for all this and much, much more as we take a look at moments of instant karma that were caught on camera. Karens, we all know one, and if you don't, well, maybe you are one. For anyone not in the know, Karen is essentially an internet meme used to describe a middle-aged woman who is just as entitled as she is aggressive. But while complaining to the manager is one thing, this next Karen took it to a whole nother level. Back in 2022, this Karen preyed upon the staff of a McDonald's. Having requested extra ketchup on her burger, she was horrified to find out that there was, in fact, extra ketchup on her burger. As any Karen would, she summoned up all her entitlement and complained to the manager, erupting into a hilarious viral Karen moment.
Where's your manager? Can I speak to your manager?
Ketchup Karen, as I like to call her, was clearly already irate. However, the temperature only rose, and what she did next will leave you jaw-dropped.
Ask for extra ketchup? And I thought, what is this? What is this?
If you're anything like me, you're probably speechless right now. Although I can tell you one thing. Those McDonald's staff members received neither enough pay nor training to deal with this beastly Karen. But as if Ketchup Karen's attitude couldn't stink anymore, she then went on to make some pretty hilarious accusations.
So much ketchup! I can't eat that. Are you making fun of me because I'm on a diet? Sugar and ketchup? How do we know you're on a diet? You okay? I'm upset.
Are you making fun of me because I'm on a diet? I'm sorry, but if you're on a diet, then why did you request extra ketchup in the first place? Or better yet, why are you even at McDonald's? But at this point, Karen had bigger things to worry about than calories, as her Hulk smash public outburst was about to come around to bite her on the booty. And in true Karen style, she took to TikTok to complain about it.
So I wanted to come out and publicly let everyone know that that was me in the video. After this video was published on TikTok, it went viral and news organizations wrote about me. And I honestly have no idea. I am simply baffled that this is possible. People found out where I work and they sent the video to my employer. I was then fired from my job. That's right, I was fired, which I find to be extremely unfair because all I was doing was going to get my weekly cheat meal, and it was the McDonald's employees that did not follow the simple directions that I asked for. So I felt that I had the right to come in and let them know that my burger was not made correctly. I did nothing wrong. Literally, I did nothing wrong.
I mean, can we get a round of applause for that? Great work, Internet. You've really outdone yourself. I mean, maybe getting fired from her job seems a tad too far, but I suppose that's the price you pay when you're the type of person who smashes burgers with your hand and terrorizes McDonald's staff. Consider karma well and truly served with extra ketchup, of course. But I'm afraid the complaining Karens only continue. And when this next one wasn't happy with her pizza order, she did the only thing a Karen knows how to do and made a scene. Shocking behavior, right? But rest assured, before she could even flee the scene, she was served up a fresh hot slice of karma. Sorry, can we get an action replay of that in slow motion, please? And that's the story of why Granny needed a hip replacement, kids. My favorite part about this clip is how absolutely nobody rushed to her aid. I mean, can you blame them? I, for one, can't think of a more deserving person to have their backside soiled in pizza.
I've fallen. and I can't get up.
However, when it comes to Karens complaining to the manager, they don't come much more aggressive than this next one. It was 2019, and a 34-year-old Michigan woman identified as Portia Tyler was upset to find that her order from Burger King had come with tomatoes on it, having specifically requested it to not. And while most would politely complain, Portia took a more, let's say, assertive approach. Just when you thought you'd seen it all. Pretty terrifying to think that these maniacs walk amongst us. Rest assured, however, karma did its job, and it wasn't long before this crazy Karen was charged with a big whopper of 4 misdemeanor counts. Those included obstruction, malicious damage to property, disorderly conduct, as well as assault and battery. Although even all the karma in the world couldn't teach this woman a lesson, as it was reported that just 2 weeks later she went on another rampage at a Cricket Wireless store. So if you're in the state of Michigan, I suggest you watch out. You might be next. Moving on, this woman was captured having an outburst aboard a plane after being seated near a crying baby. Sure, crying babies can be annoying, but I'd like to think that most decent people would have a little empathy and understand that it is neither the baby nor the mom's fault. That sentiment, however, was clearly lost on this disrespectful Karen who, as you'll see, made her grievances known.
He's not going to cry the whole time.
What can put you on the next flight? What can you put you on the next flight? No, I can't. Right here.
Your name?
Tabitha 9766.
Thank you, Tabitha. You may not have a job tomorrow.
The audacity. Safe to say this lady's attitude stinks more than a Taco Bell restroom. Worse yet, it's reported that prior to this clip, the woman had been screaming, claiming the situation was bullshit, and even went as far as to tell the mom to up and it. What a pleasant lady. But having also just threatened to have the flight attendant fired, this Karen was unknowingly on a one-way flight to Costa del Carmen.
Thank you, Tabitha. You may not have a job tomorrow.
I want to leave them.
No, I can't. No, I can't, Tabitha. I have to. I apologize. I apologize. I apologize. I have to be on this flight. Thank you, Tabitha.
She was screaming at the baby.
I'm not screaming. I'll be quiet now, please. Hey, I'm sorry. I was really stressed out. Please, Tabitha.
Now that's what you call karma. Better yet, while it wasn't captured on camera, it was reported that she was in fact eventually removed from the plane. So I think we can safely say that justice was served. And as if things couldn't have got any worse for Karen, the viral moment caught the attention of her employer, and she was reportedly placed on involuntary leave while undergoing an investigation. Now, if you've ever worked in retail or hospitality, you'll know all too well that the customer is actually rarely right. So you can imagine the satisfaction of this barista when she got the opportunity to give a rude customer a piece of her mind. For context, a man who was a regular customer at her drive-thru coffee shop ordered a 32-ounce coffee and a 24-ounce water. However, when the bill came to $22, he insisted that he was getting scammed. I mean, $22 for coffee is grossly extortionate. But the price is the price, and this entitled customer thought he was exempt from it. And well, as you're about to see, things got heated rather quickly.
Did you find me? No. There is no $5. You got 2 drinks. That's not how that works.
Yep, your eyes do not deceive you. This jerk literally threw both of his drinks at the barista's window. However, in a shocking turn of events, the enraged barista served him up with a single shot of karma in a way absolutely no one saw coming. Take a look. Damn, I don't have any words. I mean, I can't exactly say that it wasn't deserved. Safe to say that while $22 is very expensive for a coffee, a new windscreen is gonna cost a heck of a lot more. Good going, buddy. The barista claims that she immediately filed a police report and has actually received no consequences for her actions, which she maintains as being self-defense. Though the fact that she had a hammer concerningly quick to hand makes me think that this wasn't her first rodeo. Speaking of which, this next woman got a suitable dose of karma when she oddly attempted to steal a grocery cart. The power of karma is so strong she removed the cart despite it fitting after the window smashed. But on the topic of customers not paying their dues, one flooring company had the perfect response when a customer refused to pay.
We need more gold.
Check it out.
Yo, so these customers decided they didn't want to pay us, so we're taking our back. That's our floor. We're ripping that straight up. We installed it a few days ago. They don't want to pay. We're taking that right back. I don't care if we go to jail. We don't care. We're going to prove a point. It's about the principle.
This ain't charity. I mean, God forbid someone expect to actually be paid for their hard work. Similarly, when one independent shop owner discovered a woman thieving from her store, she had the most hilarious response.
Stop right there, criminal scum.
She left and got on the bus, which my employee notified me about. So I drove to meet the bus.
Guys, okay, so this raggedy ass just came into Erotic and stole from my store. Okay, stop. Don't touch me. And we're gonna follow her to her house because she said she's gonna pay for it there. Right?
Yes.
Enjoy the ride, and we'll let you know where she lives. Let's play a game called Look in the Thief's Purse. So let's see what she has. Stop. You raggedy. You look at me like I'm crazy and you stole from me. The irony.
I mean, if you're gonna steal from hardworking independent businesses, then I'd say you kinda deserve to be publicly humiliated on the bus.
Shame. Shame.
After all, it's not as if she stole anything essential for her survival, such as food or toiletries. She stole a skirt. But after the whole bus ordeal, karma wasn't quite done with her, as she was subsequently shackled up and taken downtown by the police. You know what they say, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Moving on to a lovely bit of road rage now, the world is unfortunately full of incompetent drivers. And well, you'd be forgiven for wanting to roundhouse kick them like this woman did in Russia. Unfortunately, while I'd love to say that this was a real instance of road rage, what we're actually seeing is a shot from a promotional video for the Russian TV show Mafiosa. Nevertheless, you best believe that if you cut me off, you'll be getting some of that roundhouse action. Point is, it can be hard to not lose your cool on the roads just like this.
You can't park that there, mate.
As you just saw, the truck pulled out into the black car's lane, almost causing a collision. Clearly enraged by the situation, the driver of the truck hopped out, presumably to start a confrontation. Only that isn't quite what happened, as things took a bit of a U-turn. Certainly wouldn't want to be this guy. Pulling out on an undercover cop is one thing, but to attempt a confrontation, well, my friend, that is sweet, sweet karma. Sticking with the road rage theme, it doesn't get much more rageful on the road than this next situation. Okay, so for context, two drivers got into a conflict for reasons that are unclear. However, as things got more heated, the woman escalated it by throwing a plastic bottle at the man, a choice that would later prove regretful, as she and her car were about to experience some kung fu karma. Check it out. What? Can we just get a slow-mo action replay of that real quick, please?
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
That has got to be one of the most outrageous things I've ever witnessed. Like, who in their right minds jumps into the air and karate chops off someone's wing mirror during a disagreement? I really have seen it all now. Having said that, had the woman not thrown a bottle at him, perhaps she might not have felt the wrath of this karate kid. Or should I say, karate middle-aged man. I'm also sensing that Brian's the type of guy who has an ex-wife and teenage kids who'd rather not visit him on the weekends.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
But in perhaps one of the most hilarious instances of road rage I've ever seen, this next impatient driver lost his cool when he found himself tailgating a hobbling elderly lady down the road. But rather than demonstrating some humility, things rapidly accelerated into a full-blown showdown.
That's it, love. Just this massive space here, but you're just still clocking on down the road, aren't you? Move! 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 What? Why did you move?
You shall not pass!
Man, there's just something about British people getting angry in their cute little accents. Anyway, as you could see, this guy was pretty out of control. And while I somewhat understand his frustrations, I think we can all agree that his behavior was very uncalled for. But his lacking humility would prove regrettable as he soon got a beating from karma, or rather a crutch.
I've got you on camera, you horrible. Go on, I've got you on camera. I have not tried to run you over. You stop hitting my car. Look what you've done. I'm calling the police on you, you horrible. Go on.
I'll tell her how you...
What? You walk down here, I'm trying to get past, there's loads of space for you to walk there. You just smack my car.
I couldn't care less.
You move out the way. You've just assaulted me, you. I'm calling the police. I'm calling the.
I think there's only one way to settle this. They each grab a crutch and have a lightsaber battle. And I'd be scared if I were the guy. She seems to have a mean swing. All jokes aside, I don't blame the lady for giving him some crutch action when he was so unnecessarily aggressive towards her. If I were her, I would have made sure to smash that windscreen. But speaking of which, when this next guy was goofing around climbing on his van, it all came to a crashing halt.
No! Oh my god! Babe!
Yikes. That'll do it. Not exactly sure what he was doing up there in the first place, but I think we can assume he won't be doing it again anytime soon. Ever seen this infamous clip?
You can't park there, sir.
I know I can't park you.
Well, next time you try to imitate a viral moment at someone's misfortune, be aware that karma may catch up with you.
Excuse me, mate. Can't park there. You can't park there, mate. Oh, you it, Bob.
I won't go into gear.
Go, pull off your socket then.
Back to the road now. For some bizarre reason, this cyclist was continually brake checking the bus behind it and was purposely cycling incredibly slow, holding up the traffic. But rest assured, this wind-up cyclist was about to get his comeuppance after the bus driver grew tired of his little shenanigans. I think we can all agree that this sucker got exactly what he deserved. When one reckless driver scraped into the side of another car, they tried to pull a fast one by doing a hit and run. Clearly, they didn't take the time to cover their tracks as they left behind some pretty damning evidence. Yeah, so what began likely as an innocent mistake resulted in the driver becoming a literal felon. Nice going, Einstein. It's moments like that that really do make me believe that karma is 100% real. Similarly, some jerk in a Lamborghini had apparently been driving like a douche around the neighborhood for a couple of weeks. Only one day when he was revving his engine and showing off outside an elementary school, I know, what a cool guy, he got into a collision with some good old-fashioned instant karma. With his dweebmobile completely totaled at the back end after crashing into a traffic island, we can only hope it forced him to reevaluate his life choices. Now here's a way to thank your father for letting you drive his $240,000 Ferrari 458. That's right, she had a year to hit the brakes, but still let it roll into the wall. I googled her father's firm advertised on the bonnet. He's a personal injury lawyer. Well, this is one case he can't claim caused whiplash. The rules of the road, however, are to be followed for a reason. And as such, it turns out there's a very good reason as to why you should never park directly next to a fire hydrant. When a fire broke out in Anaheim, the fire brigade had no option but to smash his car windows in and run the hose pipe through it. The red curbs are there for a reason, folks, so let this be a cautionary tale. In yet another tale of regrettable parking, when a man in Brazil wrongfully parked in a disabled spot, he found himself and his car at the mercy of the internet prankster team Canal Boom. From top to tire, his car was covered in blue post-it notes with the ironic addition of a disabled icon. And judging by his reaction, it certainly caught him off guard. I'm sure he made a note to never park in a disabled bay again. When you block the whole crosswalk with your car, sometimes you may meet some subtle karma. Speaking of the rules of the road, here in the US, it's illegal to jaywalk, aka walk across a road with oncoming traffic outside the bounds of a crosswalk. However, in this next clip, one jaywalker obnoxiously strolled across the street at a super slow pace, all the while attempting to stare out the driver with the right-of-way. Rest assured, karma was quick to deal with this one. Damn, right in the kisser. Not such a tough guy now, huh? With that level of embarrassment, I don't think I'd ever leave the house again. Needless to say that all this could have been avoided had he just used the crosswalk merely a few meters ahead. But if you thought that was embarrassing, just get a load of this next clip. One random guy decided to call out the driver of a Tesla Cybertruck, claiming it was fake. Clearly unable to mind his own business, Karma decided to give him a quick snap back to reality. Check it out.
It's a fake Cybertruck I saw on DHgate.
Yeah, we got it from Temu actually.
I mean, if you don't believe in karma by this point in the video, then I don't know how else I can convince you. Staying behind the wheel though, and in this next clip, one careless driver thought it was acceptable to just toss out all of his litter to the side of the road. But this would be the last of this litterbug's trash-tossing days, as he was soon paid a visit from Miss Karma. Now that's how it's done. Can we get a round of applause for this guy? Not all heroes wear capes. Some throw trash back at jerks. When criminals are getting up to no good, though, there's nothing quite as satisfying as seeing them get their comeuppance. Case in point, just take a look at this thief over in the UK who had a pretty interesting way of breaking into a grocery store. Having wriggled his way into the store, not without getting stuck a little of course, the thief got to thieving, looting just about anything he could. Only just as he thought it was mission complete, the cops caught him on a nearby street just 2 minutes later. Damn, he would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for alarms and surveillance cameras catching his every move. I mean, considering that in the US it's estimated that as much as 75% of crimes are committed by high school dropouts, it's hardly surprising that these crooks tend not to be the sharpest crayons in the box. In yet another hilarious failed robbery attempt, some crook in Australia attempted to make off with some liquor from a liquor store. However, things quickly got awkward when he was stopped in his tracks. Talk about embarrassing. I mean, I just hope that the way he had to pathetically return the bottle to the cashier was humiliating enough to put an end to his thieving ways. Can we also just give kudos to the cashier? She clocked that guy and locked the door like lightning. Now here's Peter Griffin from Family Guy trying to do the same thing. Legend says he is still trying to get up off the street. Now, for more criminals getting stopped in their tracks, it doesn't get much funnier than this next one. Over in India, one numbskull decided to break into a temple. After slithering through the window he just broke, he shamelessly looted the temple for all its precious and sacred ornaments. However, in a true dose of instant karma, his exit didn't go quite as smoothly as he'd hoped.
ఇతను కంచిలి పాపరం అంటున్నారు రీస్ పాపరం అంట జామ్ గుడ్ లోపలికి ఎరగొట్టుకొని కిటికీ ఎరగొట్టుకొని వెళ్ళి ఇదోటండి ఇది బంగారము పాసులో ఏవో
To commit burglary is one thing, but to steal from a sacred temple? Have you no shame? I think it goes without saying that he fully deserved every bit of karma he got as he helplessly wriggled there whilst being publicly shamed. Next up, back in 2016, a Brazilian inmate tried his luck at a great escape when he seriously thought he could inconspicuously worm his way through the tiny food hatch hole on his cell door. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. As a matter of fact, the fool was left wedged in the hole and suspended from the ground, all the while crying in pain. Though after suffering the humiliation of being oiled up by the fire brigade,
That's it. Yeah, boy. That's it.
And eventually being freed by the power tools, the idiot was placed back on the inside of his cell. Only this time with probably another offense under his belt, having just attempted to escape prison. I think it's best that idiots like this are locked up. But if you thought that looked like an uncomfortable position, then just get a load of this next guy. And for all my fellas watching, you might want to look away. You see, when this train fare evader tried to jump over the ticket barrier at Covent Garden in London, he somehow managed to get his, evidently not so little guy stuck in the gates too. Yikes. Caught red-wienered. The criminal was eventually freed from this toe-curling hot dog. With such an injury, we can only hope that he won't be producing any offspring. But if we've learned anything from this, it's that you should always pay your train fare. And if not, at least make sure to wear tighter-fitting underwear. And yet here we see another train fare evader getting stopped in their tracks by karma.
I'm very sorry.
Hopping from the London Underground to the New York subway now, and as political differences heightened during the 2024 U.S. presidential election, one woman was very upset to see a guy wearing a cap donning Donald Trump's slogan, "Make America Great Again." But rather than keep the peace, she chose to berate the Trump supporter in a public debate on the subway.
That's why he won. Because of people like you. That's why he won. That is why he won. Because of people like you. You need to stop it. Let him live.
Bro, just
He's
like,
good.
bro, chill, bro.
You're okay with that? I
He's
see how racist.
I'm so
bro,
okay
how
with
can I be racist, bro?
I'm so okay with it.
If you
I'm
go
okay
for
with
Trump,
it.
you're
I'm
a
sorry.
racist.
Leave him alone.
He's a racist.
How can I be racist?
No, he's not. Leave him alone.
Doesn't watch the news.
You realize he was a
I'm
Democratic
highly
city.
educated.
Oh, are you? Then why are you wearing that hat?
Everything's been going up for I don't know how long. The Democrats been running New York since who knows how long. But then Trump comes in and just takes over.
As you can see, things were getting pretty heated as the woman claimed Trump and his supporters are not only racist but uneducated too. Which is pretty rich coming from the woman who was about to do something so dumb that it could only be described as instant karma. Take a look. I mean, there's really no coming back from that, is there? Probably reason number 7,248 as to why it's not a great idea to engage in political debates with strangers on the subway. On that topic, this YouTuber Steven visits different towns in the UK wearing a billboard with provocative anti-transgender statements on it. Naturally, this garners attention from people with the opposite view of whom Steven hopes to engage in discussion with. However, one conversation soon became quite sticky.
If it's not, she says, if it's not hurting her, why would she care?
Have you just squirted something over the back of me?
You're so welcome.
You're so welcome.
Don't be spreading hateful messages, please.
Really?
What's hateful?
Huh?
What's hateful?
So you just squirted?
Oh my gosh!
So
no way.
You just assaulted me now, haven't you?
No, I haven't. I haven't touched you.
I haven't touched you.
So what do you...
I haven't touched, have I?
So you've
no, I've got lots of
So you've
here.
just damaged my property?
No. Oh, babe, it's just golden syrup.
Oh, babe, it's just golden syrup.
Wash it off, it's alright. I'm so glad you were still here, by the way.
Right.
Because
Because you went away to get that and
oh, no, I haven't gone
squirted
away. Oh, no, I'm not from here. My friends let
No,
me
so
know
you
you're
just
here.
went to a shop and squirted me with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Steven's sign vandalized, things got pretty heated, but despite the vandal's blatant arrogance, karma soon humbled him.
Yeah.
Do you want to wait around for the police to come?
Oh, because I assaulted you?
Yes.
Go on then.
What?
I'd love to hear it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've got a lot of people here.
Yeah?
I didn't touch him.
What are you in for? Armed robbery, what about you? Attacking someone's sign with golden syrup. Similarly, just check out what happened when a woman began racially abusing a man on the train.
What did he say?
Go back to Morocco.
Go back to Morocco or Tunisia?
Yeah.
Why would you say that? It's so disrespectful. I was born here. I was born here. Were you born here?
Were you? Well,
Oh, yes, I was born here.
Doesn't look like
yeah,
it to
have
me.
some respect. I've paid my taxes. I'm very respectful. Don't ever disrespect me like that.
It serves you right.
It serves me right. Do not ever disrespect me like that. Where, are you British?
It serves you right.
Are you British yourself?
I don't want to.
Are you
speak with
born
you.
here?
Don't shout at me.
Don't disrespect me. That was racist what you said. Go back to where you come from. I was born here, okay? Don't ever disrespect me like that. Okay, have some respect. You probably weren't even born here yourself.
Well, you're not
okay?
speaking to me.
Because of what you just said,
respectfully,
it was
okay?
very, very disrespectful. Don't ever talk to anyone like that. Who do you think you are?
You're shouting at
Don't
me.
ever talk to anyone like that.
Right, I'm going to speak to.
Speak to
one of
staff.
the
I've got it
staff.
recorded saying go back to your country. Who do you think you are?
Yes,
You don't talk to
yes.
You don't say to anyone go back to your own country. Who are you?
Look at the way you're speaking to me now.
Yes, I will speak to you like this because you are condescending, you are racist, and you are disrespectful. You don't talk to anyone like that. Your parents or yourself were immigrants themselves. Have some respect.
Yep, you saw that right. This woman, who is very clearly of an ethnic background that isn't indigenous to the UK, was berating the man for also being a person of color and telling him to, quote, go back to Morocco, despite him having been born in the UK. I mean, even if she herself is British, it's reasonable to believe that at some point in time her family members were also immigrants. Some jokes really do write themselves. But as is so often the case, karma soon came around to teach this woman a much needed lesson in humility. There's nothing quite like seeing such an ignorant and smug person get their comeuppance.
Big Chungus is out.
Ironic to think that she was probably sent on a train back to wherever she came from that day. Coming in with yet another public transport horror story, one unlucky flight passenger had the pleasure of someone's trotters poking under his seat from behind. Understandably not impressed by the level of inconsideration for personal space, the guy decided to teach his fellow passenger and his little piggies a lesson. Oopsies, did I get your toes? My bad. We all know legroom can be an issue on planes, but come on, man. Have a bit of consideration for others. Speaking of water spills, during a high school event in Mexico, someone dressed up as Squidward from SpongeBob SquarePants and was handing out trays of water. It was then that our next idiot tempted karma by pulling a not-so-funny prank. Whoever the girl was who threw the drink on her, I just want you to know that you're my hero, and I really admire your work. The satisfaction I got from seeing that smug grin washed off her face is second to none. Also, did anyone else notice the hilarious moment where the girl at the top left decided to join in and threw even more water on the prankster? Totally deserved, if you ask me. This is what happens when you have the cheek to mess with Mr. Tentacles. Ever seen an Uno reverse card play out in real life? Well, just check out this next clip.
Vai, vai, vai!
Karma really can be extraordinarily exquisite. Sorry, it appears my team has started using ChatGPT to write my jokes. Back in 2015, a gay pride parade was taking place in Istanbul in Turkey. That was until the authorities attempted to shut it down by blasting folk with water cannons. Did they think gay people would melt in water or something? Anyway, the joke was on them as the heavy flows of water combined with the sunlight created the most iconic rainbow there has ever been. What with the LGBT rainbow flag. The authorities were no match for the powers of karma. Karma, however, isn't always reserved just for us humans. When an ostrich attempted to chase after someone, it turned out karma was much faster. Moving on to something more lighthearted now, and just take a look at this clip where a young guy decided to take out his frustrations on some trash cans. There really is just something about other people's misery that brings me so much joy. In fact, the Germans have a word for this: Schadenfreude, literally used to describe the pleasure derived from someone else's misfortune. Who else but the Germans? And a perfect example of this would be this clip of a girl bouncing around on a trampoline. Hey, it's okay for us to laugh because we see that in the end she's perfectly fine, right? But back to some instant karma now. When this next guy came across a nice, neat display of stuffed toys at the store, he set out to destroy it by cannonballing into it. But alas, his mischief was no match for the powers of karma. Ouch, that one's going to hurt. And well, considering that he had to visit the ER and discovered that he'd broken a rib, I think it's safe to assume he won't be pulling this stunt again. Similarly, you'd assume it's common sense to not jump on frozen water, but as I've often found, common sense isn't actually all that common. Now this is what happens when you cheat at musical chairs. I think we all know who the real loser is here, or should I say, the biggest loser. On to something different now, and back in 2018, some kid in China thought it would be funny, and I can't quite believe I'm saying this, to urinate on the buttons inside an elevator. I'm slowly beginning to lose all faith in humanity. But rest assured the trickster's tinkles would prove extremely regretful when the damage caused the control panel to short out and halt the machine. Plummeted into complete darkness and suspended in the elevator, this PP prankster certainly got what he had coming to him. Fortunately, or unfortunately, he was eventually rescued, and we can only hope that he learned a very valuable lesson as to why you should never pee inside or on elevators. Things you never thought you'd have to teach your children. And finally, the grand finale of our journey through instant karma, and it doesn't come much more instantaneous than this woman who epically failed at photobombing her pal. Ah, the bunny ears. For people in the early 2000s, this was the absolute peak of comedy. Well, who's the joke on now, Michelle? You have the bunny ears, Michelle. Hope you're proud of yourself. And with that, I will bid you farewell. Talk to me in the comments and tell me about if there's ever been a time where you experienced instant karma. Goodbye, ciao, toodaloo, and all the rest.